गेली घरी. लय वेळ झाली. नाही आले नाहीत. नाही म्हणून सांग. काहीच नाही आपल्याकडे.
व्हिडिओचं बंद कर विक्या. व्हिडिओचं बंद कर.
Is my voice is audible? Hello? Hello?
हॅलो.
Voice is audible? Okay.
येस येस.
Okay. जाधव म्यूट करा. तुमचं मागचं लय काय ऐकलं ते आम्हाला इकडे.
हा केलं सर. म्यूट केलं.
Okay. So this is the problem we have taken yesterday. Is it right? So this particular problem in this objective function is there. This is the objective function. So this is given z. So yesterday's problem just I am explaining once again. Okay. जाधव आवाज बंद करा. जाधव तुम्ही व्हिडिओ बंद केलाय. आवाज पण बंद करा. Okay. So this is the objective function yesterday given, that z is equal to 13x plus 13x1 plus 11x2. That is objective function. These three are the constant equation, and this is a non-negative equation. So these particular equations are changed. Okay. So this particular first equation is changed. Here, according to this method, here it is written z equation. But if you keep z equation as it is, 13x1 plus 11x2 as it is, no problem. But here what will happen? We are adding here 0s1 plus 0s2 plus 0s3. Okay, as coefficient of s is 0 in the objective function. Then this particular equation, first equation is get changed. 4x1 plus 5x2 plus es1 is equal to 1500. So non-negativity constraint. Okay, so non-equality constraint, sorry. This non-equality constraint is get removed, and that will be becoming here equal sign. Similarly, for second equation we have added s2. For third equation, s3 is added, and your non-negative equation become changed. x1, x2, s1, s2, s3 all are greater than 0. So once this is there, then we have to prepare this table. First is the basic variables. So what are the changed variables? Extra added variables are there, just we are considering that. So s1, s2, s3. Then their coefficient in the this z equation are 0, 0, 0. Then Cj is nothing but the coefficient of Z equations. So x1 13, x2 11, s1 0, s2 0, s3 0, and b constant equal to sign. As in Z function, we have to calculate the value. We have not done anything here. Then S1 is presented in first equation. So coefficient of first equation is written here. 4, that is the coefficient of x1. 5, coefficient of x2. 1, coefficient of S1. S2 and S3 is not present, so it's 0. Then B value, that is the right hand side value, 1500. Similarly, from second equation, where S2 is present, coefficient of x1, coefficient of x2, coefficient of s1, coefficient of s2, coefficient of s3, and right hand side this side. Similarly, s3 is presented represent third equation. So third equation coefficient x1, x2, s1, s2, s3, and right hand side b value. Once you formulate these values, you have to calculate zz. How to calculate zz? Your formula is written. For example, first zz 4, this 4 into 0 plus 5 into 0 plus 1 into 0. Summation of all these things comes 0. So here 0 is written. As this side zeros are there, if you multiply with these numbers, then some multiplication will come 0 and summation will become 0. So at first level, all zz values are 0. So this is the first case. At first condition, all zz values are 0. Then we have calculated Cj minus Zj value. Cj minus Zj value. Cj value is at top side, Zj value is here. So Cj minus Zj, 13 minus 0, 11 minus 0, 0, 0, 0. As this problem is of maximization problem, so here it is given first initial condition. This is the maximization problem, and for that maximization problem, the rule is that Cj minus Zj should be negative or 0. Cj minus Zj should not contain positive value, but here positive values are there. Out of that positive values, we have selected the particular positive, that the highest value, is of 13. That 13 value, what it represent? It is the key column. Okay, so this particular first is the key column. Then similarly, we have to find out the key row. So how to find out the key row? The B value divided by key column value. B value divided by key column value. So 1500 divided by 4, it gives 375. 1575 divided by 5 gives me 315, and 420 divided by 1 gives me 420. Out of these values, whatever these theta values are coming, that is B divided by key column value. Out of this, we have to find out minimum. So these are the minimum values. So for column selection, we have taken positive largest value. For row selection, we require to take minimum value. Once this key row and key column you identified, the cross section of key column and key row indicate you key element. So this particular 5 is key element. Then the next step, that key element should become 1, and other than elements in that column, same column, should become 0. So that rule we have to follow. For that, we have made certain operations. The first operation is R2 divided by 5. That R2 divided by 5, when you make it, so that whatever this on this table, whatever that R2 row is there, that second row is there, for that row you have to go for dividing with number 5. Okay, otherwise if you will not divide it with 5, then that particular column, that particular element will not become 1. That's why we have selected this particular operation. Then once you make this particular column row completely, Here at this particular stage we have made one more change. Can anybody tell me what change we have made? At this particular stage we have made one change. Can anybody tell me what change we have made? In here one change I have made. So second row is divided by 5, that is correct. Still one more change is there, and just I will highlight here what change I have made. Can anybody tell me?
S2 is replaced by X1.
S2 is replaced by X1. Why? Because here when whatever key row and key column we are finding, that key column indicate entering variable. आता x1च का घेतला तर की कॉलम काय इंडिकेट करतोय x1 इंडिकेट करतोय त्यामुळे x1 घेतला आणि s2 का रिप्लेस केला तर की रो का इंडिकेट करती s2 इंडिकेट करते. सो की रो इंडिकेट द living of the we can call it as the living thing, and key column indicate entering variable. लिव्हिंग व्हेरिएबल आहे एंट्रिंग व्हेरिएबल म्हणजे s2 निघून जाणार आणि त्याच्याऐवजी x1 येणार. तर दॅट चेंज आय हॅव मेड हिअर. वन्स दिस सेकंड रो इज मेड completely with that dividation of 5, then new b value will be I have connected here with new b value, and x1 coefficient is 13 in this z equation. What is our z equation? Z equation is 13x1 plus 11x2 plus 0 s1 plus 0 s2 plus 0 s3. So x1 coefficient is 13. That's why that 13 is written this side. Okay. Once this second row, whatever in this box, whatever this second row is becoming that key element is becoming 1. Our next target is other elements should become 0. For that we have made these two operations: r1 minus 4r2, r3 minus r3 minus r1, r2. So that operations we have made, and we have made this element and this element 0. At the same time there may be changes happens in this row and b value. Once you satisfy this condition, what condition? That key element is unity, that is 1, and other elements are 0, especially in columns. Other elements in the columns are 0. Once you made this particular, you satisfy this condition, then we have calculated z values. How to calculate z values? Same, 0 into 0 plus 13 into 1 plus 0 into 0. So that particular gives me z values, these z values. Then again I have calculated cj minus zj, and I have checked whether cj minus zj are negative or 0 for maximization problem. Then at one stage condition, one particular row, one particular stage, I found that cj minus zj is positive value. So that value I have selected as again key column. So this particular column, second column is selected as a key column, that indicate x2 will be entered, x2 will become here, but which row should be replaced? For that again I have to find out key row. For that again same, theta is equal to b minus key column element. So 240 divided by 13.5, that gives me 92.3. 350 divided by 3 by 5, that gives me 525. 105 divided by 7 by 5, that gives me 75. From these values, lowest value is our third row. So that third row is the key row. Okay, so this is called key row, and this is called KC, key column. Then intersection point I have find out. So this 7 by 5 is the intersection point. This is called key element. Then again that key element I required to make 1. Before that S3 is required to be replaced. Whatever this S3 is there, that S3 is going to be replaced with this X2, and this particular 7 by 5 should be become 1. So, and other element should become 0. So same operation I have carried out here. X2, X1 is previously replaced. Now X2 is replaced with S3, and that 7 by 5 is becoming 1 by this operation R3 into 5 by 7. Once this is made 1, other two rows become what are the elements in that key column is there, that becomes 0 here. Once this particular made 0, with the help of this operation, R2 minus 3 by 5 R3, R1 minus 13 by 5 R3. So once this made, new B values I have received, new table I have received, then I have gone for checking the things. How to check the thing? So X2A coefficient is 11, so that will be replaced here, which is from the Z equation, from this Z equation, this X11 is replaced here. Then I have to calculate Z values, ZZ values. Similarly, 0 into 0 plus 13 into 1 plus 11 into 0. Like that, Z values I have calculated, and Cj minus Zz values also calculated. So all Cj minus Zz values are negative or 0. That indicate I should stop my iteration. I should stop my further calculations. That means I have reached to the final solution or final conclusions. The x1 value, what will be the x1 value? We have to select from the B column. X1 value is 270, x2 value is 75, and put these values in Z equation. That x1 is 270, x2 is 75, Z max is 4335. So this is your solution. Okay. So if I go to the previous slide here, maximize ZZ. So here I can write Z is equal to 4335, x1 is equal to 270, and x2 is equal to 75, whatever major value is there. These values are nothing but these values, and if you put these values in this equation, all equation can be satisfied. That is a cross check. So like this way, this particular method is called simplex method to solve the linear programming problem. So last time we have gone through how to prepare the problem. Once you can convert the statement into problem, that problem can be solved by this method. So those who are absent yesterday, for them, once again I have explained all the steps what we have done yesterday. So today we will go for, this is the probable that solution. So here you can find out whatever values we have calculated. X1 is 70, x2 is 75, Z value is 335. So that method is little bit different. Not method, I can say their representation of table is little bit different than us, whatever we have decided. Okay. So this is the next second problem for you people. Can you able to solve this particular problem? Here your values will be 3. Your matrix will be increased by one more thing, that is the x1, x2, x3 and s1, s2, s3, because this is the objective function. This is the objective. These three are the constraints, and this is the non-negative. Okay. So how the particular equation will be there? I will give you the prepared equation, then you have to solve it. How that equation will be there? First equation, can anybody tell me? I'll write here only. Can anybody tell me first equation, how it will be converted? Constant equation. Please unmute yourself and you reply me. Hello, unmute yourself and reply me. How the first equation will be get changed? Rohit, Nagne. Hello, how first equation is going to be changed? Is
yes,
my one?
Yes,
one add करायचं कसं होणार सांगा की
2x1 plus 3x2
2x1
plus s1.
plus Okay, plus S1 is equal to
8.
8. Similarly, second equation, 2x2 plus 5x3 plus
Plus 2. Just 2.
S2 is equal to 10. And third, 3x1 plus 2x2 plus 4x3 plus S3 is equal to 15. आता पहिल्या इक्वेशन मध्ये x3 नाहीये, तर x3 चा कोएफिशिएंट काय येणार इथं?
0.
0. दुसऱ्या इक्वेशन मध्ये x1 नाहीये, x1 चा कोएफिशिएंट काय येणार इथं? 0. बरोबर आहे? दिस इज युअर 3 इक्वेशन्स and your z equation becomes 3x1 plus 5x2 plus 4x3 plus 0s1 plus 0s2 plus 0s3. Is it right? Is it right? And your non-negativity constant becomes, that will also write, I will here x1, x2, x3, s1, s2, s3, all are greater than 0. Greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so this is the particular thing in front of you. Okay, please start solving this particular problem. So I will just add one more slide below this. Okay, for some people, some students, for your understanding, I will give you first a particular thing. That first table I will prepare here. So I will write Cj here at upper side. Okay, so this particular Cj. Below that, basic variables will be there. Basic variables and coefficient of basic variable. So how? What are the basic variables are there in this? X1, x2, x3, s1, s2, s3. Okay, and then b value. Then z equation. What is the z equation we are having? 3, 5, 4. So 3, 5, 4. Then 0, 0, 0. This will be there. Then basic variables s1, s2, s3. At initial condition 0, 0, 0 will be there. Then first equation, what is first equation? 2x1 plus 3x2. 2x1 plus 3x2, x3 is not there, so 0, s1 is there is 1, 0, 0, and the equation is 8. B value is 8. B value is 8. Then 2x2 5 x3 5 x2 5 x 5 and 2 here 5 x1 value is 0 0 1 0 and 10. B value is 10. Then third 3 2 4 3 2 4 0 0 1 and 50. Is it right? Everybody, have you understood this particular table?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So up to this table I have given you ready-made things. So further you have to calculate Cj at first stage, Cj minus Zj at first stage, Cj minus Zj at first stage. Then go for calculating the things, find out the key row, key element, which element should be replaced, etc. All these things. Please make it fast at your level. So I will add just 2-3 slides and I will keep this slide as open to everybody, so that after some time we can solve this particular problem with you only. I can solve this particular problem with you only. So now I have added some blank slides so that further it will not create problem. So please solve this problem at your own level, at your own side. Meanwhile,